stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name's Dave Miller. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy. I want to thank everyone who enjoyed my last show, and let's get on with this one. This edition is about keepers. Keepers of trust, keepers of faith, keepers of honor. It will be my pleasure to talk about these people, but before I do that, I'm going to have to address a current issue that frankly a lot of people are tired of, including myself. But I wanted to get my opinion on this in because it does have a bearing on some of what comes after and on much of what is going to happen in the future of our nation. I'm talking about the Confederate flag controversy. Now, to me, the Confederate flag represents two things. First, it represents the fallen Confederate soldier, the Southern fighter in the Civil War who fought not for the perpetuation of slavery, but for the defense of his homeland. We in the United States of America respect those who go to war, and though the South, which practiced slavery, was wrong, the people who fought for their homes did so with honor, and their service deserves to be recognized. The other thing the Confederate flag represents to me is resistance to a government gone rogue. In the 1850s and 1860s, there was a large population of people who felt that the central government in Washington, D.C. had done exactly that. Back then, it was felt that government was prepared to discount the opinion of people in its states, and it was felt that it was beginning to exercise control over and above its mandate in the United States Constitution. I have to say that conditions like that exist today. And the ironic thing is that on some issues, people with philosophies as far removed as people from the Tea Party movement and Occupy Wall Street have agreed that in certain issues, our central government has indeed gone rogue. Now, I respect those who believe that the Confederate flag represents slavery in the United States of America and a painful time in our history. Where I disagree is when people want to erase that portion of our history. You see, when you take that Stalinist path and decide that you're going to completely erase a part of a country's history, whether that history puts that country in a good or a bad light, you lose a valuable lesson. At the end of the Civil War, we as a nation said of enslaving our brothers here in the United States of America, never again. In my opinion, we must never lose that conviction. And there must always be a reminder of the excesses of the antebellum South around, so that those who come after us do not forget that lesson. But it goes deeper than that. The Confederate flag represents to the elites who want to control our lives from cradle to grave the one thing that they are not prepared to allow, and that is resistance. The possible resistance of a united American people of all colors against a central government gone rogue. This, to me, casts a whole new and different light on the Confederate flag controversy. While I respect individual people's views of what the flag means to them, I have to look with suspicion on officialdom's treatment of this issue. Are they really being sensitive to the people of the United States of America and wanting to see this symbol removed from state houses, from stores, from everywhere? Or is it something more? Are they concerned with a symbol of slavery or more concerned with a symbol of resistance? I've told you what I believe the answer to that is, and now it's up to you to decide that question for yourselves. Now I want to get to the good stuff. The keepers of honor, the keepers of faith, the keepers of our children's future. Now, as people know who have listened to me for a while, I am a big advocate of the English Defense League. The English Defense League are ordinary people who decided to get together in the United Kingdom and inform everyone not only of the excesses resulting from the culture of Islam, but of the fact that their own central government has chosen to ignore these excesses in the name of diversity, in the name of political correctness, in the name of multiculturalism. So far, due to the work of the English Defense League, the world has been informed of instances such as the Rotherham child sex scandal, where initially over 1,400 girls and boys were discovered last year to have been sexually abused by Muslim men, in many cases in an organized way, through preparation for underage prostitution and other efforts on their part. And the government of the United Kingdom knew about this for well over a decade and did nothing about it because they didn't want to be seen as quote-unquote racist. Now, you guys have heard me more than once talk about my opinion about whether or not Islam is a race. It isn't. But diversity, multiculturalism, and political correctness have run such amok in Europe and in the United Kingdom that the lives of literally thousands of girls and boys all over Europe, but particularly in Rotherham in the United Kingdom, have been destroyed. And their own governments ignored this destruction because they didn't want to appear insensitive to Muslims. And I'll tell you something else, guys. If you look through the news, you will see that the initial 1,400 children in Rotherham is only the beginning. More are being uncovered. This scandal goes deep. And the sad thing is that Rotherham is not the only place it's happened. It's happening in other places in the United Kingdom. It happens everywhere the density of the Muslim population goes up enough. Non-Muslim girls and boys are targeted for sex. And when I say girls and boys, I don't mean people that are 18 years old. I mean young girls and boys. 14 years old, 12 years old, often younger than 10 years old. It's part of the Muslim culture. And trust me, Americans, if it hasn't arrived in the United States of America already, it will be here extremely soon. Now, the English Defense League is going to have a demonstration in Sheffield, and that is going to be on July the 4th. Now, they're going to Sheffield to expose the triple whammy of Muslim child abuse gangs, Muslim community inaction about the abuse, and the official cover-up in the city. Remember, indications already are that as bad as Rotherham was, Sheffield looks like it will be even worse. Now, we might ask, well, why don't they allow the authorities to take care of this stuff? I say, witness Rotherham. The authorities should have taken care of that instance over 15 years ago. They didn't. And they didn't because they wanted to be sensitive to Muslims. There is no reason to expect that there will be any kind of different action in Sheffield, or in any other city in the United Kingdom, or any other city in the United States. They're going to Sheffield, and they're going to march in the streets, and they're going to arrive at a central location, and they're going to give speeches, and they're going to inform the public of the problem because the establishment media in the United Kingdom will not, and this for the same reason that the establishment media in the United States of America is ignoring this issue. They're either brainwashed, brain dead, or paid off. The English Defense League will march and chant and give speeches, and they'll do it peacefully. They will be there to let the members of the majority non-Muslim community know that they are not alone in their suffering, from the Muslim child sex abuse gangs to the Sharia patrols and other abuses perpetrated by Muslims on their non-Muslim neighbors. This is serious business. Establishment media in the United Kingdom has made the English Defense League out to be marauding thugs who hate brown people and just want to cause trouble. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Remember I said that this show was about keepers? Members of the English Defense League represent all races, and they welcome all races to their cause. They are keepers of the safety of the children of the United Kingdom, children of all races. They are keepers of honor in the United Kingdom, reminding their own government that there is honor in enforcing the law. And they are keepers of brotherhood with their neighbors, people who are often too intimidated to protest the Islamization of the United Kingdom, peoples whose jobs are threatened if they do, people who are worried about losing their friends if they do. People who are worried about being seen as knuckle-dragging cultural throwbacks if they do. Ironic indeed, because if you look at the Quran, if you look at the Hadiths, if you look at the way Muslims behave when they become the ones in charge, they are the knuckle-draggers. They are the xenophobes. They are the ultimate bigots. And the predominant group that is standing between them and the innocent people of the United Kingdom at this moment is the English Defence League. Now, as to the Sheffield demonstration, it will be videoed live as it happens. If people over here in the United States of America want to see this demonstration in Sheffield on July the 4th, it will probably take place early in the day. They can view it over Ustream absolutely free. There will also be a Ustream channel where people can watch the event later on when it's convenient for them. And support them if you can. If you go to www.englishdeafencealeague.org and you scroll down a bit, you'll see a donate button. Yes, I understand that I'm asking people in the United States of America and other countries to donate to an organization in the United Kingdom. I wouldn't do otherwise unless it was for the fact that they are at the spearhead. Right now, there is no group of ordinary people that is more effective in informing people worldwide about what happens when Muslims are allowed to intimidate a government into non-action than the English Defence League. And I am proud to stand with them. Now, I'm going to include all documents relevant to this story and others in this show at UBG Contact on the Twitter. That's where you can contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions. It is the main contact point for the show. Now I'm going to do something that I rarely do, which is run one of my own promos inside my own show. This pertains to the 7th of July, and it's something that I hope not only people who listen to The Unpleasant Blind Guy will participate in, but will pass on to their friends so that they can participate as well. Each year on September the 11th, ordinary citizens of the United Kingdom gather outside the United States Embassy in London. There, they show their solidarity with the people of the United States of America in remembrance of the terrorist attack on that day in 2001, the day Americans call 9/11. On July the 7th, 2005, terrorists exploded bombs in London, killing 52 people and injuring 700. The people of the United Kingdom call that day 7/7. To return and share love and respect with the citizens of the United Kingdom, please light up the darkness of the evening of July the 7th with 7 lights. These can be 7 firework rockets, 7 candles, or any other kind of lights, possibly arranged in a display. Then post what you've done to your favorite social media to further remember the lives lost, those injured, and the nation attacked in the 7/7 bombings. Your posts will be a call to free people everywhere that they too can be lights standing against the darkness of Islamic terrorism. Let your light of love and resolve shine this year and in years to come by marking 7 on 7/7. Now it's time for the Awesome American segment. And this one is rather special. In my mailings, I've advised people to save this show. I want them to do so because this segment contains one of the finest moments in recent American history. And it's one I don't want people to forget. Now, on June 19th, 2015, the South Carolina church shooter had his first appearance in court for a bond hearing. Judge James Gosnell, Chief Magistrate of Charleston County in South Carolina, presided over this. During this hearing, members of the victims' families were allowed to address both the judge and the accused. The words they spoke are enough to restore anyone's faith in humanity, and they give proof to the statement that the United States of America is not just a country of laws, it's a country of people who love. It's a spiritual nation whose citizens live their beliefs and don't just mouth them for the sake of convenience. I've prepared a special audio for this segment, and I apologize if people have to adjust their volume to get its full benefit, but it's worth hearing. If you've heard it before, it's worth hearing again. And it's definitely worth keeping. Because if at any time you begin to lose faith in the American people, if at any time your children or your grandchildren say, what is so great about the American people, you can play this.
Today is June 19th, 2015, Charleston County Bond Court. I'm Judge James Gosnell, the Chief Magistrate of Charleston County. This is the case of State versus Dylann Roof. Mr. Roof is charged with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. I would like to ask, are there any members, or is there a representative of any of the family that would be here that wish to make a statement before this court? Ethel Lance, would you like to make a statement in regards to this hearing concerning Ethel Lance as a victim, ma'am?
Yes.
Would you like to come forward, please? You are representing the family of Ethel Lance, is that correct? And you are whom, ma'am?
The daughter.
Her daughter. I'm listening, and you can talk to me.
I just want everybody to know, to you, I forgive you. You took something very precious away from me. I would never talk to her ever again. I would never be able to hold her again. But I forgive you. And have mercy on your soul. You hurt me. You hurt a lot of people. But God forgive you. And I forgive you.
Thank you, ma'am, and I appreciate you being here. Representative of the family of Myra Thompson. Sir, would you like to make a statement before this court? Please come forward. Your name, sir?
Anthony Thompson.
Mr. Thompson.
You know, I forgive you and my family forgive you. But we would like you to take this opportunity to repent. Repent. Confess. Give your life to the one who matters the most, Christ, so that he can change it and change your ways no matter what happened to you, and you'll be okay. Do that, and you'll be better off than what you are right now.
Thank you, sir. Taiwan Sanders. Your name, ma'am?
Felicia Sanders.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders, for being here.
We welcome you Wednesday night in our Bible study with open arms. You have killed some of the most beautifulest people that I know. Every fiber in my body hurts. And I'll never be the same. Tawanza Sanders is my son, but Tawanza was my hero. Tawanza was my hero. But as we say in the Bible study, we enjoyed you, but may God have mercy on you.
Thank you, ma'am. A representative of Daniel Simmons. Your name, ma'am?
Alana Simmons.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons, for being here. Your statement, please.
Although my grandfather and the other victims died at the hands of hate, this is proof. Everyone's plea for your soul is proof that they lived in love and their legacies will live in love. So hate won't win. And I just want to thank the courts for making sure that hate doesn't win.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. The Reverend DePayne Middleton Doctor. Your name, please, ma'am?
DePayne Middleton Brown.
Thank you for being here.
DePayne Doctor was my sister. And I too thank you on the behalf of my family for not allowing hate to win. For me, I'm a work in progress, and I acknowledge that I am very angry. But one thing DePayne has always joined in our family with is that she taught me that we are the family that love built. We have no room for hate, so we have to forgive. I pray God on your soul, and I also thank God that I won't be around when your judgment day comes with him. May God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome Americans, to me, are typical Americans. And though our establishment media rarely shows it, the representatives of those victims in that courtroom on June 19th, 2015, suffering grievously from the attack of the shooter, displayed the best of the American spirit. Keepers of honor, keepers of love, keepers of faith. They make me proud, and they should make every one of their fellow Americans proud. That's it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye. The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2015, Anno Domini.